Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with part 3 of our Everlasting Summer playthrough. So, last time, things were really starting to get good. We finally had a moment with Lena, I believe, and lots of interesting things happened. We actually ended up dancing with her, and we ended up talking a lot, and there was lots of feelings flying around. It was great. And so so progress is being made for sure. Last time, I woke up with a hellish ringing inside my head, basically. And so, some interesting developments. Firstly, first and foremost, do you remember in this game a while back, we walked in on our roomie changing because Olga, that's her name. We walked in on Olga changing. And because our dude's an idiot, for some reason he doesn't have the presence of mind to, be a little careful when you're bunking with a girl. But hey, what do I know, right? Anyway, so you know how the screen went completely black and it was just the words? Did it seem a little suspicious to you? It did to me too. So I was thinking about it later, and I was thinking, why would it, it just seems weird. It seems weird. So I did some Googling. Turns out, so Steam decided to be buzzkills, and they took out, they didn't want this adult patch available. Well, there is an adult patch. Well, you can find it on these people's website. And I found it, and I put it in. And fun fact, it worked. So I went back really quick just to see if it worked, and it worked. So I did it because I love you. Anyway, so that should make this whole experience a lot more interesting. And, actually, back up. Doesn't matter, it's already saved. Gallery. I don't know if it'll let us. Probably not. Yes. No, it does not let us. Okay, Anyway, I would have shown you, but suffice it to say, from here on out, going forward, now we're not going to miss anything. So if it is not YouTube appropriate, I will of course edit it out. But if I at all can get it on YouTube, I will. Anyway, so that should make this whole thing pretty fun. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get to this. He woke up with a hellish ringing inside his head. That's the alarm clock. The ringing seemed to be coming from the depths of my consciousness. Pretty sure it's his alarm clock. But after I came to my senses, I realized that the cause of this ringing is my alarm clock. Ha, told you. Strange. Where did it come from? Why is it standing near my bed? Well, I'm willing to bet Olga put it there. It was 7:30, according to the clock. Olga had already left, but there was no one there. But there was nobody to force me to go to the lineup. Thus, I can sleep a bit more. I don't know why he has such a problem with the lineup. I get it's probably dumb or whatever, but I really don't understand the whole I must avoid it thing. I guess I don't get it. Whatever. I closed my eyes, but it seemed like my consciousness had already had its coffee and was ready for a long, productive day. I need to get up. I should plan my day out. After all, I need to at least find out something today. I disagree. I feel like you don't need to find anything out, as a matter of fact. But still, nothing came to my mind. Fine, I need to wake up completely and wash myself. On my way to the washstands, I met Xenia. Well, hello, Xenia. What got you up so early? Anything wrong with being up early? She looked at me as if I insulted her. No, nothing. Just curious. None of your business. Gosh, Xenia isn't very sympathetic even when she's in a good mood, but today she just looked furious. Yeah, she's not an incredibly warm girl, that's for sure. She looks pissed off every time you talk to her. The cold water perked me up. The fog in my head dissipated, and my thoughts started arranging themselves. Curiously, I started to wonder about finding a good place in the canteen more than finding answers. Smart boy! Anyway, I brushed my teeth and was going to leave when a quiet sound wafted past my ears. It's probably a squirrel or some animal. I heard another sound, this time a bit farther. I walked 10 meters along the path, searching for the source. Nobody, just the morning forest. Aha! It's Miku! I returned to the washstands and saw Miku, who was looking for something in the grass. Noticing me, she smiled and jumped up to me. Oh, hello, good morning. I accidentally scattered my tooth powder, just trying to gather it all back up. That's disgusting. The dewy grass didn't seem to be helping matters. Are you sure that's a good idea? That's what I was thinking. Well, why? What else can I do? I don't have any more. It was the last I had. She pouted like a child who had just had her favorite toy taken from her. Here, I'll give you mine. I dug into my bag. No tooth powder there. Strange. Didn't I just put it there? I walked away for a minute and now it's gone. Listen, it looks like I've forgotten it. I didn't want to tell her that it had just gone missing. Knowing the sensitivity of this girl, it was safe to assume that vanishing household goods would impress her so much that her brain would reset itself in order to avoid overheating. Well, I'll be off. Yeah, cheers. Visit me in the music club. I'm still alone there, but I Mika's voice faded in the freshness of the summer morning far behind me. This guy is such a jerk. Like an unbelievable jerk. Anyway, getting back to my leader's cabin, I took my cell phone and looked at the battery meter. Enough power for the day, maybe even less. Of course, it won't help me much here, but still. Finding a charger in the 80s would mean inventing it. That's fair. I was going to head for breakfast when somebody knocked the door. It was Lena. Aha! It's Lena! We had a moment. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. I was taken back a bit. The events of the previous day were still fresh in my memory, but I still didn't really want to speak about them. Why? You're probably looking for Olga, aren't you? Well, no. I mean, yes. Lena was her usual self, shy and easily embarrassed. That dance on the pier, now it seemed no more than a dream. She's not here, I'm sorry. Okay then. I'll go. Okay. Semyon, you retard! You have definitely too cold to her. This guy is so retarded. Like, why would you just shoot her down like that? Like, if you said like you could found a better way to phrase that. I'm assuming you're looking for Olga. Like, you could have found a better way to phrase that. And then when she said, I mean, when her first response was the honest one. She'd be like, no, I mean, yes. And then the I mean, yes was her backtracking because she felt awkward because you said that. Idiot. Like, oh my God. He's so frustrated to watch him just, like, emotionally bully all of these people because he's too stupid to have, like, any kind of decorum. Man, no social cues for this guy. It's awful. Anyway, when Lena left, I thought I'd been too cold towards her. Of course you did. So I decided to be nicer on our next encounter. You should have fixed it while she was nearby, you idiot. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The bright sun was shining over the space and time displaced pioneer camp Savyanok. I still can't pronounce it. It's so many V's and Y's and O's. Anyway, warming its residents and filling them with energy to spend the day productively. Or in my case, to waste it in futile efforts to find an explanation for everything happening here. I feel like you should just let it go there, pal. Just let it go. This is life now. Your previous life sucked. This is way more entertaining. This is better for you. Like, again, something else I don't get, your need for quote-unquote answers. Like, just blend in, man. Just, like, if you happen to see anything, then fine, but, like, you know, live in the here and now. Listen to what Yoda always taught. Anyway, there was an unusually large crowd towards the canteen. Of course, there was no other place in the camp that pioneers loved as much as the canteen, but why were they all crowding on the porch? I came closer to find out what was going on. I'm assuming it's going to be bad. It looks like all the camp had gathered at the porch. There were all the familiar girls, Olga and Electronic. They were having a lively discussion. I drew closer. Ah, Semyon, have you seen Shirk today? No? What's the matter? We haven't been able to find him since early morning. Disappearing pioneers. Well, that's something new. But was he was with you yesterday? She was talking to Electronic. Yes, he was. So you woke up this morning and he wasn't anywhere to be found? No. Why didn't you come to me immediately? Well, I thought he had got up earlier and went to wash or something. Did he mention anything yesterday? Interjected Slavia. For example, that he was going somewhere, for instance. No. What exactly is so horrifying about that? It's only 9 a.m. He might have decided to go for a walk. You don't know Shurik. She looked over at me seriously. Well, no, I don't. But I didn't see anything suspicious in the situation. Okay, let's stop panicking. We'll find him. How could he miss breakfast? Ulyana grinned. Exactly. Time to eat anyway. The pioneers proceeded into the canteen. Yet again, I had no choice where to fit in. The only free space was at the table with Alyssa and Ulyana. Ah, darn it! Alyssa and I have had issues. I've shot her down. What is that? Like once when she wanted to play me her music, and the other time when she tried to blackmail me. So you know, it's pretty rough to be sure. That's not good. Take a seat. She pointed at the chair next to her. I sat down. Do you think Ulyana's gonna be less irritating? Aren't you gonna get your food? Good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Today's breakfast didn't look much different than yesterday's, but it looked more appetizing. Or maybe I was just very hungry. Or maybe I was eager to finish it off as soon as possible to avoid yet another Ulyana prank. Yeah, and how about this time you don't revert to like a 7-year-old and go chasing after her? How about that? Idiot. Want to go to the beach with us today? When? Right after breakfast? Generally speaking, relaxation wasn't on my agenda today, as it should be, but I was going to spend my time thinking. If I was going to spend my time thinking, why shouldn't I do it while getting a suntan? Sure, why not? Ah, cool. She smiled nicely. I bet you're planning another prank? No, not at all. Ulyana waved her hands at me. She sure is, Alyssa grinned. She's always like that. No way. I think she's right. Nobody believes me. Ulyana took her tray of dirty dishes and stood up. Enjoy your meal. She said in such a way which left no doubt nothing good awaits me today at the beach. Me and Alyssa were left alone. Oh no. You know, I guess I shouldn't go with you after all. Why is that? Well, I've got something to do. And what exactly would that be? She looked in my eyes and I couldn't even find an appropriate excuse. I don't even have a swimsuit. Try mine. You think it'll fit me? Give it a try. I don't think it's worth the effort. Don't be a wimp. We'll find you some swimming trunks. Those words only added to my fear. Wait for me by the canteen. I'll be back soon. Okay. There's nothing wrong with waiting for her, is there? I mean, we can throw her a bone a little bit. She was already less hostile than I expected. Finishing my breakfast, I left the building and sat on the stairs. Pioneers, all having their own business, hurried past me one by one. No one stopped by me. No one even looked in my direction. It seemed like they didn't consider me a stranger, but exactly the opposite. Just another teenager their age, their comrade, you could say. I caught myself thinking that I had to started to consider this camp and its inhabitants with not as much caution as I had the first day. As you should, bro. Anyway, indeed, Alyssa was back in a couple of minutes. Ready? Ready for what? She gave me the trunks. Though you could hardly call them trunks, they look like a pink boxers decorated with butterflies and flowers. Actually, they were boxers. I am almost afraid to ask, where did you get these? Too scared to put them on? Well, you know, I had not the slightest intention of doing so. Or I have not the slightest intention of doing so. I appreciated her joke, but wasn't going to make myself a laughingstock. Put them on, she said roughly. Why don't you try them on instead of me? I think that color swimsuit would set off your eyes very nicely. Let's make a bet. I had no desire to accept her bets. No thanks. Alright, you either go to the beach wearing them, or you swim naked. Weighing the pros and cons, even the second option seems better than the first. I am not planning to go anywhere at all. Then I'll tell everyone that you left these trunks in my cabin. Why would I do that? How should I know? She burst into laughter. I didn't want to argue with Alyssa, so I decided to go to the beach in the end, but not in those flamboyant trunks. Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't be late. She ran off after saying that. I dragged my feet to the leader's cabin to get a towel and to hopefully find something like trunks. Olga was waiting for me in the room. Semyon, did you hear anything about Shurik? Same as half an hour ago. I walked to my bed and took a towel. You going somewhere? Yeah, to the beach. Oh, wait, do you have swimming trunks? You came here without any luggage, as I recall. Strange, that fact didn't seem to surprise her during our first encounter. No. So, what will you wear? Good question. What? I don't know. Wait a minute. She walks into the wardrobe and unlocked a drawer. In a moment, she had a pair of normal black trunks. Where did she get these? And more importantly, why? Someone from the previous season might have forgotten them. Considering all the strange things in this camp, it wasn't really surprising to find men's swimming trunks in Olga's room. Thanks. The trunks were just my size. Well, hey, that, dodged a bullet there, that's for sure. I got changed behind the cabin and went to the beach. A lot of pioneers had already gathered there, but I recognized only Alyssa and Ulyana. Come here. I walked over to them and sat in the sand. I see you found something better, obviously. She stared at my trunks and smirked. As you can see, come on, let's swim. I don't want to. Maybe later. I was not a fan of swimming. Suit yourself. The girls ran into the water. Why did I come here? Why am I not looking for answers? Because you have a brain. Should I care about it now? No. The camp, I'm not even going to bother with the name. The camp seemed normal. Certainly a lot of strange things had happened to me during these 3.5 days, but not one of them, taken separately, seemed at all supernatural. Especially since I didn't get any closer to finding as much as a clue, which is why you should give up. On the contrary, everything that had happened had only confused me more. What alternatives do I have? I won't get any truth from the local residents, although I doubt they even know it. Should I try to leave this place? But how far can I walk considering that I don't even know where I am? It turns out that my only option is to wait. See, I think that makes sense. After some time, the girls came back. Ulyana held something in her hands. Look. I looked up and saw a crayfish. Just a normal crayfish. Ulyana lay next to me and started to torment it. Leave the poor animal alone. Why? It's just a crayfish. So what? It has a right to live too. I'd rip its claws off and ask the cook to boil it for dinner. As if we have nothing else to eat, I looked at Alyssa. She seemed to be totally uninterested in Ulyana's fun with the poor sea creature. Tell her. What's wrong? It's a crayfish. It deserves it. It looks like the girls missed their lessons on nature in primary school and lacked empathy for the environment. Give it. I snatched the crayfish off Ulyana. Suit yourself. I was a little surprised she didn't resist. I looked into the eyes of the poor animal. They didn't express anything at all, but I thought that if they could speak, it would certainly be outraged. Maybe it would even go to the UN Convention of Animal Rights. To tell the truth, I wasn't sure that would help. I took the crayfish to the river and set it free. Never mind, I'll catch more. There are plenty of them here, said Olyana. No doubt about it, I mumbled. Yeah, you know, no doubt about it. Time passed and I was getting sleepy. I would not let my guard down. I fell asleep. That's a bad plan. I don't remember what I was dreaming about, if I was dreaming at all, but I woke up when someone shook my shoulder. All right, that's less aggressive. Whoa! Hello, Olga. Olga stood next to me. Did you come to swim too? I asked, still half asleep. No. It's almost time for lunch, and we still can't find Shurik, the leader said, standing before me in a wet swimsuit. And I want you to look for him. It seems like I'm the only pioneer in this entire camp. I was sincerely outraged. Every time it was something clearer that Olga considered me her errand boy to be used like a slave. Bro, if there was one person's slave I'm happy to be, it's Olga's. Don't be such a girl. Anyway, actually, hang on, back up. I think I missed a sentence here. Or vice versa. Okay, I missed that. If I came to you, then I want you to help me. Why exactly me? However, after giving it some thought, I decided to agree. Because any excuse to spend time with her is a good excuse, obviously. After all, my shoulders and back got sunburned while I was sleeping, and searching for Shurik would let me get acquainted with unexplored locations of the map. Okay, it was not exactly right to wander around wearing only swimming trunks, so I should get changed first. There you go. See, man, this guy is such a complainer, man. It's always like, why me? Why me? And it's always like, I need answers. I should, like, ignore all the beautiful women that just are all around me. And, like, Olga looking for any excuse to get to be near me and talk to me, and I'm too stupid to realize it. Like, for the love, man. Anyway, 10 minutes later, I stood outside Olga's cabin deciding where to go. Ah, we have options. Okay. First, let's go ahead and give it a save. We will save it over our little day 4 slot. Beautiful. Okay, so our options, we have the bus stop and the boathouse. Well, I feel like the boathouse makes the most... Well, I mean, what if he decided to leave, though? I don't know why he would decide to leave, but what if he did? So the other reason I just noticed, it makes sense that Alyssa and Olyana are together, because they actually bunk together, as it turns out. Huh, oh, I can actually click on our cabin. That's interesting. Let's go to the boathouse. Maybe Shurik decided to pick up some stones near the water. In the worst case, I'll find his corpse. Well, that's dark, but I'm sure it won't end up that way. Okay, well, that's a little more positive. I was crossing the square when somebody called out to me. Wait! Alyssa came up and smiled. I immediately sensed a trap. Why? That's probably wise. Where are you going? I'm searching for Shurik. Olga asked me to. And how is it? Exciting? She looked intently into my eyes and I turned away awkwardly. Not really. But you know, a pioneer is missing. Surely you're not freaking out over such a minor thing. What do you mean? Only a few hours have passed. Maybe he just lost track of time while having a walk. Certainly I'd had the same idea, but I wasn't telling her that. Yeah, that's true, but who knows what could have happened. Let me help you with it. With what? I got suspicious. That's probably wise, with looking for Shurik. But I can do it. Oh, come on. She smiled at me, but there was something malevolent in that smile. Naturally, her smile was cute enough, but it really seemed to me like there was something behind it. I agree. She 100% suspicious. Very suspicious. Well, if you insist. Since I could not understand what's on her mind, I had no real reason to refuse. I mean, that's fair. But before I go, we have to get one thing from home. Okay, I'll wait for you. You're actually serious about just standing there. Let's go. Okay. Oh, this is so incredibly suspicious. We approached Alyssa's cabin. It would be just like all other cabins, if not for the Jolly Roger on the door. At least she has style. By the way, Olyana's my roommate. I saw on the map. Okay. This guy is such an idiot. I mean, do you remember earlier when she said that I'll tell everyone that you tried to seduce me, and she's like, you know, you're gonna regret it, and that type of thing. And now you willingly went with her into her cabin. Like, really? Am I the only one not sensing a trap here? And even he's suspicious, but not smart enough to take, you know, steps to try and not get in trouble with anybody. Like, you should have absolutely waited outside and be like, I'll wait for you right here. And, like refuse to move. Walking with her to the cabin, at least up to that point, makes sense. That's fine. But you should not have gone in with her, because you can't trust her. She's dangerous, man. She's going to get me in trouble. Anyway, we entered the cabin. The complete chaos inside really reminded me of my old flat. Although why I thought of it as old, in general, I could imagine a girl's room differently. Snow white sheets, walls, floor, and ceiling shining spotless. Oh, that's so not true. But when you consider that the two most exemplary pioneers are living here, we just stood silently for some time. And what did you need to get? Huh? Seems like I interrupted Alyssa's thinking. Yeah, it's not here actually. Wait here, I'll be back in a minute. Oh my gosh, he's smiling right now. Even a worse idea! This is where it happens. This is the trap. You are so stupid. She seems really flaky today because she's about to do something really bad to you. I can feel it. I began to examine the room. I wouldn't say that there had been an explosion. It was just a decent mess. Well, at least by looking at all the mess created in one pioneer session, I can surely say that I am not the messiest person in the world. The decoration of my apartment took years to be completed. I wasn't thinking about anything in particular, was just looking around the room. Posters of Soviet artists, some books on the shelves, various household items, and then I realized that everything is wrong. Something will happen soon. No kidding! Something bad. Obviously, his brain just caught up. You realize that just trusting Alyssa on her word is a dangerous plan. Why did Alyssa leave me here all alone? There was something I had to discover. My gut told me that it's dangerous to stay here. I agree. I went to the door and tried to open it. Locked. What a surprise. How did she manage to quickly lock me in? I don't know what's on her mind, but I need to get out of here. I went to the window, opened it, and climbed out. Now I can go and take care of business, or I chose the second option and waited. What is the reason she had me locked up? I actually didn't know. See, now this is a better plan. I can see why you'd want to stay and see what she was gonna try and do to you. You know what I mean? Now this I'm a little bit more behind. I wanted to know what was happening, plus I really wanted to see Alyssa's face when she finds her room empty. I hid in the bushes next to the house and waited. See, now this is a plan I'm okay with. After some time, I heard footsteps. Olga and Alyssa came to my house. Aha! You'll see everything for yourself. She opened the door and went in. A few seconds later, she ran back out. Lols. Lols! Haha! You can't pull a fast one on me. You almost did because my guy's an idiot, but not quite. You know, Alyssa's face looked as if she just won the mouse catching competition, but at the last moment she found that it's not a real Olympic sport. So he just disappeared. Olga asked skeptically. I did the right thing by closing the window after myself. Smart boy. No, you know, I understand everything, insert last name here. You and your roommate, every time the same thing. Haven't you had enough yet? But it's true, really. One story after another. Semyon in your cabin. Semyon harassing you. Why do you keep lying? That's horrible. Alyssa seemed really upset, and to my surprise, was not trying to argue. On the one hand, it was funny to look at, but on the other, I felt a bit sorry for her. She did deserve it, though. She does deserve it. Our leader finally finished scolding her and left. Alyssa was mad. She clenched her fists and trembled. Her face was flushed. It seemed to me like she was going to explode. She deserved it. I sat in the bushes and laughed quietly. However, I was wondering what was on her mind and came out of my hiding place not afraid of being beaten. So what exactly did you want to show the leader? Me? Alyssa turned and looked at me with disbelief. After a moment, surprise turned to anger. You! What about me? She calmed down a bit. Because you're a loser. And why is that? Because you're afraid to compete with me. When? When we played cards. What a serious reason. Yeah, maybe I should apologize to you? I asked sarcastically. Screw you. She went into the house, slamming the door. No, screw you, Alyssa. I wasn't angry at Alyssa. In the end, I expected her to do something like this. Anyway, I got through it without consequences. I was very lucky. Her confusion and embarrassment just made my day. Chuckling, I left Alyssa's cabin, which was about to become my death trap. Yeah, no kidding. He is so freaking stupid. He almost walked into that. Like, the only part of that plan I was behind was, like, you know, turning the tables on her. I wonder if we should go to the cabin. If I should go to the cabin and see if I can talk to Olga. But it's still a stupid idea. If Shirk was hiding anywhere in the camp, he would have been found by now. Of course, assuming he wants to be found. So I hardly think I can help him. Together with this thought, I entered the cabin and stretched myself on the bed. Okay. That is not what I wanted to do. So this is why I saved it. Because him just being like, nah, screw it, is a really stupid thing to do. To the bus stop then. The bus stop seemed to be a fine choice. A strange thought came across me. Perhaps Shirk is in the same situation as me, and so he decided to run away from the camp, maybe by the 410 bus. It could really turn out to be true if he came here by accident, too. Although the chances of that are quite slim, but you never know. What if the bus would really come? However, I could hardly believe in that. Indeed, I spent a couple of minutes waiting at the bus stop, made sure that there were no signs of Shirk or anyone else here, and headed back to the camp. Somebody rushed out from behind the gates and bumped into me. The impact wasn't strong, so I just staggered. Miku stood in front of me and rubbed her bruised forehead. Oh, sorry. It's alright, it's my fault. I was going to the music club but got lost and I thought of a new song. But, you know, thinking out the lyrics and the music, I hadn't realized how I got here. So you don't have to apologize. Her words per minute rate obviously exceeded the recognition limits of my brain. I made an attempt to retreat promptly. Sure, gotta go, you know. Oh, wait. I wanted to leave as usual without having to listen to her, but Miku grabbed my hand. This guy is awful. Her grasp gave me the creeps as I got a clear vision of an agonizing execution by another rap session. Can you help me a little, please? Just a teensy-weensy bit? That definitely wasn't on my to-do list today. Well, I'd be glad to, but it's pretty please. Miku looked at me with such puppy dog eyes that my heart started to melt. Like, at least something can melt that ice-cold heart of yours. This guy is completely heartless. She totally wasn't going to let go of my hand. And what help exactly do you need? You'll accompany me. I can't manage to compose on my own. I can sing or play, but I can't do both at the same time. Even our, virtuoso has her weaknesses. Well, you know, I can't really play any instrument. Never mind that. I'll show you everything. Come on, let's go. Okay. We're gonna save it. Just in case, and I'm gonna say yes. Because I am gonna force him to be a good person. He cannot continue to be a loser. I will find a way to break him. On the other hand, I'm not losing anything. However, she dragged me along with her. Probably nothing good will come of this, but the only way to get her off me was to wrestle my hand out of hers. But that wouldn't be very nice. As if you weren't swearing at her in your head the entire time, idiot. Nothing bad will happen after all, probably. Yeah, well, you know. I mean, we already looked everywhere. Like, what else was I supposed to do? Within a minute, we were already standing in the music club. Miku took her guitar. Here, have a look. She sat down and started playing. I like this gentle acoustic guitar. I tried to follow her hands. The tune seemed quite simple. It seemed quite easy to repeat it. Yeah, does it though? Got it? Kinda. Let's try. I took the guitar and started playing. That didn't really work out. Let me show you one more time. She played much better than me. Looking at Miku, I wondered. Of course she was a chatterbox, she was naive and clumsy, however she was extremely talented in music. Try again. I managed much better the second time. Wow, that's much better, she smiled. It wasn't hard. In fact, just repeat the same notes over and over. Just don't lose track. Start on my command. Okay. Ready? Go. It was a song in Japanese. Frankly speaking, I didn't understand a single word, but Miku's singing was quite good. In fact, it was outstanding. She put her heart in every note, every word. Yeah, music probably is the best thing for her to dedicate her life to. It seemed like it wasn't her who chose the music, but the music that had chosen her. The last half an hour presented Miku in a completely different light. It was almost like you shouldn't be such a jerk to her, huh? I mean, come on, she's Miku, man! You can't be mean to people. I mean, unless it's Alyssa who's mean, like, who started it, or Yana who is, you know, petty and young. Anyway. Oh, thank you. Did you like it? I finally managed it with you. So on my own, it's not so good. I either mess up with the words or miss the strings. It's just perfect with you. Thank you so much. You really have a talent, you know. Just to play like that without any preparation. No, it seems I've changed my opinion about her too hastily. Thanks for the song. Gotta go. See ya. Thanks for... The rest of her words were left behind the door. He is such a bad person. I leaned on the wall of the club cabin and sighed. Miku's song was still playing in my mind. You are such a bad person. I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment and with a realization of time wasted. It wasn't time wasted, you idiot! Anyway, this guy pisses me off. He's so annoying. He's so mean. He's so mean. Like, how about you stop and smell the roses? How about that? Like, look around you, you idiot. Like, before you were a shut-in with no life and no friends and no future, and now you have the potential of friends if you would let yourself be friendly. Gee whiz. Anyway, the canteen was crowded. I couldn't stay unnoticed. Olga called me. Semyon, come with us. The camp leaders, Slavia and Electronic, were sitting at a 4-seat table. If there was a table I want to sit with, it's this table. Because all of these people are far more trustworthy than some of the people I've been sitting with recently. I nodded and went to get my food. This time I had spent several minutes in the queue. Today's menu didn't really differ from the other day's menus. The dishes looked the same, at least. When I sat at the table and wished bon appetit to everyone, Olga said, "So, what are you thinking? About what? We searched for Shurik all around. It's noon and he's nowhere to be found." Okay, now at this point it is getting suspicious, right? I mean, it's like freaking noon, and still he's nowhere to be found. It's not that big a camp. I took a note of the rhyme, but didn't want to point it out. We looked all over the camp. I went all around the neighboring forest. Olga looked at me. And I helped too. We must call the police. Maybe we should wait until the evening? I asked lazily. Maybe he went home? That can't be. Shurik lives thousands of miles away. By train? The nearest station, she paused, is far off. Okay, now that was suspicious. Now it was getting interesting. Every time the conversation reaches the point concerning ways I could leave the camp, all the camp inhabitants start changing the subject. See, now I've noticed that too, that no one wants to talk about anything outside the immediate camp. So that to me is the most interesting thing. So that's what leads me to believe that there is something suspicious. The only kernel of truth in our main character's suspicion is the fact that there is something else out there. Because every time it gets there, everyone changes subject. Everyone does. You know, all of them have. So just saying, pretty suspicious. Every time the conversation reached the point concerning ways I could... Oh, I already said that. How far is far? Really far. The camp leader looked at me, indicating with her expression that asking more questions was not advised. So we should go deeper into the forest. Maybe he got lost. Shurik always takes a compass, chimed in Electronic. I wonder what else could be found in this magic vest, assuming he has one. If I were to get lost in the forest, a compass would be of no real use. Police. We should call the police in the evening. Not right now, at least. Okay, so you'll do it later. They were all silent. We should be able to find him before evening. We still have time. If he actually got lost, we have no time to lose. We can't be sure. Then where is he? Where? There was some truth in the camp leader's words. Hiding the whole day just like that is suspicious. But why would he do that? Shurik seemed to me to be quite a serious pioneer. Ullana would have been better fit for this behavior. That is very true. So there is good reason to believe that he was gone. All that can be done has already been done. We'll just have to wait. Slavia, Electronic, and Olga looked at me sorrowfully, but didn't say a word. I mean, probably because, you might be a little right, but I would keep looking. I finished my lunch, took the tray back, and left the canteen. It's still the first half of the day. What now? I like how he's so completely unconcerned. The camp was drifting off for an afternoon nap. Only Genda stared at me through his glasses. Of course, he was staring somewhere else, but I had a feeling that he was constantly watching me. I bet he knows where Shurik is hiding. He just can't say anything. The disappearance of the Cybernetics Club leader made me think. Maybe it's got something to do with my case. Oh, Pioneer. It's the scary hot nurse. The nurse stood in front of me. I looked at her curiously. Go and take my place in the infirmary. I have an urgent call. Somebody is injured. Me? Yes, you. Take the keys. It's like, okay. The nurse threw me the keys and ran away. Why me? Isn't there anyone else in this camp? What exactly should I be doing? What if something happens? Oh, what do I do now? I missed my chance to refuse. Because you shouldn't refuse, you retard! God, he's so annoying. I stood in front of the door uncertainly. On the one hand, there is nothing to worry about. There we go. I'll spend half an hour or so here and she'll be back. But what if someone comes for actual help with a broken leg or a head injury? I began to worry too much. I hoped that there were no injuries more serious than bruises or scratches in this camp. But at the same time, I couldn't shake the idea that in a serious situation, I would be absolutely useless. I agree, you would be useless. I don't even know how to perform CPR. A magazine on the nurse's table caught my attention. A good way to relax, I guess. This is labeled Soviet fashion. The publication date or month was absent. Convenient. However, this was not a surprise. There was much stranger things happening here. I didn't know much about Soviet magazines. Maybe they didn't actually have publication dates on them. Models dressed in old-fashioned clothes stared at me from the glossy pages. Nowadays, nobody would wear such clothes. I smirked. I wonder if Slavia, for example, considered this fashionable. I can only imagine what would happen if she appeared in my time wearing something like this. Imagine we were walking hand in hand. I'm wearing my coat with the hood, and she's dressed with a lavish dress covered with lace and things. Seems like I'm already imagining Slavia in my world, with me. And not only Slavia. This dress better suits Ullana. This cute Seraphan would look good on Alyssa. This skirt and cardigan would look nice on Lena. If only they could be real. No, I saw them, heard them, maybe could even touch them. But still, they are here, and I simply don't belong in this place. But you could if you sucked it up a little bit. It's alien to me. I'm just waiting for my chance to get out of here. You should really stop doing that. Waiting because nothing is up to me anymore. I sighed, put my head on the table, and fell asleep. He really should learn to let all this go. He absolutely should let this go. I was awoken by the noise of the door opening. Lena stood by the door. The nurse isn't here? Then I'll come back later. I'm substituting for her. Since I am responsible for Pioneer's lives, I should do it with full responsibility. Oh, look, he does have a heart somewhere deep down. Although, in fact, I was just afraid of something bad happening because of me. Any health complaints? I tried to give Lena the most professional smile I could in order not to confuse her. Nothing special, just a little headache. Let's do this. Some painkillers, maybe? Of course, I wasn't aware where to find required medicines, so it took me a while to find them. Finally, I handed some sort of tablet to Lena. Thanks. She smiled. That was completely unexpected, and I lost my touch with reality staring at her. What? Lena turned awkward in an instant. Listen, I've been wondering, do you like this? I don't know what got into me, but I grabbed that magazine from the table and showed her the picture of a skirt and a cardigan, which would really suit Lena in my opinion. Maybe I went completely nuts thinking about the girls being in my world. Or maybe I want to distract myself instead of just waiting for the nurse to come back. Lena stared at the picture. Yeah, I guess. Is stuff like this in fashion? I guess. She got confused and started blushing. Why do you ask? Really, why? Well, first we're going to give it a save in the next slot, because we have plenty of slots, why not? And I'm going to say exactly what I was thinking. Because I think you look gorgeous in it. Thank you. It's alright, I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. How's your headache? Much better, thank you. She smiled. I'll be off. Good luck. There, that was civil. He was civil. I can't believe it. He has a soul, everybody. Rejoice. This guy has a soul somewhere deep down. Anyway, Lena went out and I continued to look through the magazine. That was definitely the right thing to say. After a while, somebody knocked at the door again. Seems like the infirmary is the most popular place to go. Suddenly, I decided to role-play a nurse. Just a male version. And said, come in. The door opened and Oyan entered the room. Wow, did I miss the moment when you decided to start knocking? Anything wrong with me knocking? She frowned. Where does it hurt? Why on earth would I tell you? Where's the nurse? Right in front of you. I imposingly crossed my legs and looked questioningly at her. I'd better go. It'd be better to die than be treated by you. She smiled mischievously. You didn't even let me try. Olyana thought for a moment. Though you could give me some pills. What's bothering you? It took her some time to reply. A heavy stomach. Sure it's not an empty head? I muttered under my breath. What did you say? Nothing. Give me a second. I found the pills in the first drawer I opened. Thank you, doctor. She smiled cheerfully. Watching Olyana, I could imagine how such an optimistic and active child couldn't have any health problems. Or I could not imagine. Alright, pause. Let's go to save this at the next slot, because considering how many choices they're giving us, I'm incredibly suspicious. Overdose of stolen candies? She gave me a baleful look. No, I left everything for you. Hang on, pause. I mean, we saved it, guys, so we can do this. Food poisoning from the canteen? Considering the local cuisine, it's not that surprising. Maybe. She smirked. I see that you're still alive and kicking. Well, I'm not complaining. Bye. Yeah, I think I like that option better. I mean, I feel like if we can get Olyana to be nice to us, if we can foster a better relationship, then I feel like that's a wise thing to do. So we'll try, and I feel like that was a better plan. Olyana ran out of the infirmary, slamming the door. Again, I went back to studying Soviet fashion trends. Time passed, but the nurse was still absent. I wonder who got hurt. That's my better question. I wonder if it's related to Shurik. I wasn't searching for Shurik, wasn't looking for any clues concerning my situation. I was just sitting and flipping through a magazine. Just for a moment, I felt quite satisfied with the situation. Yeah, let it happen, boy. Stop resisting. So far, everything that has happened here could be seen as just a trip to a summer camp. And if nothing changes in my time soon, then if nothing changes anytime soon, then I can start worrying. Again, somebody knocked on the door. Did I miss the outbreak of an epidemic? Slavia was standing at the doorway. Oh, hi. Isn't the nurse here? Hi. No, she's not here. I'm taking over for her today. Great. She hesitated. What? By the way, Semyon, Slavia said and looked intently at me. What? It seems like I lost my keys. Have you seen them somewhere? Sure I have. Sure, yes, have. I found them near the canteen yesterday. I wanted to return them to you, but forgot about it. I was really bad at lying. My cheeks went red, my eyes were wandering around, and hands were constantly shaking. Here. I was already prepping myself for an appropriate scolding, but Slavia took the keys and said, thanks. So what have you come for? I really needed to change the subject. Okay, well, hey, that worked out. I think that was a pretty okay decision. Does anything hurt? No, it's nothing. Strange. I wouldn't even think that such an open person as Slavia could keep something quiet. If there's something bothering you, tell me. That's why I'm here to treat people. I smiled widely. No. I mean, yes, but no. Hearing that made anything possible, even division by 0. So how can I help you? You? I guess you can't. She smiled and was going to leave, but suddenly stopped. However, could you step out for a minute? Well, why not? Okay. I stepped out of the infirmary and leaned against the wall. I wonder what she might be doing, something that I can't even see? After a minute, the door opened and Slavia came out. She was carrying a small bundle. We're gonna give it another save because I don't know, man. I feel like I shouldn't ask because I think it's probably a feminine thing, and I don't want to make it awkward for her. I don't think I'm gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask. Good luck, I shouted after her. Thank you. She gave me one of her sweet smiles before leaving. Yeah, I think that was a wise decision. Yeah, I think it was a wise decision because Slavia, I trust Slavia. One of the highest people I trust in this game is Slavia. So she's not a thief, so I feel pretty good about not asking her because I feel like if she felt awkward about it, she didn't want me to see. Pressing on her is not going to be helpful, and and especially considering my theories, I think it is feminine related, and it felt awkward because she didn't want to tell me a dude. So I think not asking her was the right decision, and I trust her enough not to just steal something. So even if the nurse came up and got pissed at me, come on, it's Slavia. Anyway, I looked at the time. It was getting late. I'd read the magazine backwards and forwards, but the nurse still wasn't here. Suddenly, the door burst open and Alyssa rushed inside. Oh no! Oh no! Of all people, why? She looked at me piercingly. What are you doing here? Sitting, I admitted honestly. Okay then, it'd be even better without the nurse, she murmured. Are you sick? I asked acidly. Alyssa didn't answer and came closer to me. Move over. Why? So I can open the drawer, isn't it obvious? What for? She got angry. None of your business. Well, I'm kinda in charge here. She gave it a moment's thought. They give me some activated carbon. Stomachache? Yeah. She grinned sharply. I got the feeling there was something wrong here. I also get the feeling something's wrong here. Alright, once again, way too many decisions here. See, I'm so on the fence, because what could she possibly use activated carbon for? I feel like she's going to use it against me. That's what I'm wondering. Like, what if she uses it against me later on somehow, like poisons my food? The other thing is, what if she's being genuine for once? Or what if she's going to, yeah. Oh, I don't know. We saved it, so I'm gonna see what happens. Really? A stomachache? Really? Doesn't seem so. What, do I have to toss my lunch all over the place for you to believe me? I don't know, terrible things could be done with activated carbon, but I'm sure you'll think of something. She hesitated. And what if you're right? There, I knew it. Then I'm certainly not giving you anything. Alyssa tried to get to the drawers, but I blocked the pillbox with my chest like Alexander Matsarov. Alexander Matsarov was a Soviet infantry soldier during the Great Patriotic War. Posthumously rewarded for the title of hero for the Soviet Union for blocking German machine gun with his chest. Wow, what a beast. For all her impudence, she was still just a girl, and she had no chance of pushing me aside. Whatever, I'll find it somewhere else. Let's see. Alright, hang on. Let's try giving it to her. But you never know. What if she really has an egg? Okay. I reached into the drawer and got out a packet of activated carbon. Thanks. She rested it? She took it from my hand and ran away. Oh, I don't know if that was the right decision, man. It was 15 minutes till dinner, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like giving it to her is what we're gonna go with. I feel like it's whatever. Oops. It was 15 minutes till dinner, and the nurse still wasn't back. I guess just leaving the place like this won't do. She asked me to look after it, after all. And who knows what might happen if I leave. Though, who would want to steal anything from here? Except for Alyssa stealing activated carbon. I opened the magazine again and began flipping through it for the 9th time. The fashions of the 80s weren't all that fun anymore. Yawning got me several times. It was already 6 o'clock, so dinner had already started. Of course, I had to be on the watch till the end, but my stomach seemed to have its own opinion on the matter. I stood up and steadily headed to the exit. A rustling sound came from behind the door. Could it be someone else who got poisoned, broke their arm, or something even worse? I sighed heavily and pulled the doorknob. However, there was no one out there. Seemed it was just my imagination. I doubt it. I returned inside and instantly noticed that something had changed in the infirmary. To be precise, an apple had appeared on the table. What the flip? And where from? Fruits can't just materialize from thin air by themselves, can they? Though in this camp, anything is possible. Chances are someone just brought it here. Maybe Lena wanted to thank me, given that she's all shy and... But wait, how could she just slip past me like that? Lena wouldn't climb through the window after all, so there must be something else. I was suddenly overwhelmed by fear. What if the apple is poisoned? Though, why would someone complicate things when I'm here totally helpless and can be killed way more easily? Or it might just be an apple which Eve tasted in the Garden of Eden. That's a theory, I guess. In that case, I certainly shouldn't eat it. The same second my stomach reminded me it was thereby rumbling treacherously. However, it could take some time to close the infirmary, reach the canteen, to get food. My stomach is about to eat itself. There's something wrong, I guess. Once again, I tried to remember if this apple was here before. In the end, it must have appeared from somewhere. Maybe it got here through the window? The shutter was slightly open, so someone must have reached in and put it there. Nothing serious, however. Ah! There's too many decisions here. This game is tricking me. It's so suspicious after Alyssa just, like, asked for pills. This is so suspicious. Do I eat the apple? Because, like, Lena, I mean, someone obviously reached in and put it there. It worries me about Alyssa, but what if it was Lena and she was being shy and cute? Or what if it's something, the music really weirds me out, honestly. Well, what if it's something, like, to do with the whole somehow I found myself in summer when it was winter thing? Like, he's somehow in the 80s when before he wasn't. Oh, dear. I say eat it because we did save it, so let's just eat it. Finally, hunger prevailed, and I started chewing on the ripe green apple with gusto. Its taste seemed normal, though I didn't think that was even the strongest. Though I don't think that even the strongest poison can be tasted, but it's too late to think about that. It was time to go to dinner. I'll just backtrack if something bad happens. Along the way, I ran into Electronic. How's it going? Did you find Shirk? No, still no sign of him. Don't worry, we'll find him. I tried to cheer him up. Too much time has passed. I'll just keep on searching. What about dinner? No, finding Shirk is more important. At least someone has a brain, he muttered thoughtfully. I left him at the crossroads and wished him good luck. Pioneers crowded in the doorway. I quickened my pace, trying not to be the last one in line, at least for today. And I was lucky. In the far corner was an absolutely empty table. I took my dinner quickly and sat at the table. Tonight's dinner consisted of fruit soup and a pair of buns. This set surprised me at first, but the taste was actually nice. I concentrated on eating. Lena, don't go there. Look, 3 free chairs. Aha! Lena and Miku stood in front of me. Are these taken? Wondered Lena. No, take a seat. Of course I wish she was alone. That's so mean. Thank you. As soon as Lena said that, Zena jumped out from behind her back. I'll sit here. There are no places left, she said, putting her tray on the table, sitting down, not even waiting for my answer. Sure, make yourself at home, I muttered sorrowfully. What? Nothing? To tell the truth, I wanted to reduce the whole company to just Lena, though neither Miku nor Xenia were causing much trouble, except one was too talkative and the other was too arrogant. Yeah, that's fair. But, nevertheless, they were absolutely harmless, especially comparing to some others I could name. Yeah, that's true. I mean, even if they have their own personalities and quirks, but they're not, like, dangerous like Alyssa or Ulyana, so... As long as they're not those two, I'm psyched. Oh, seems like I forgot my key. Don't worry, take mine. I was surprised by Miku's short reply. Do you live together? Of course, didn't you know? Together. Our cabin is in the rearmost. I mean the furthest from here. I mean the last one. I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody told me that Lena lived with Slavia. Or was Xenia at worst, even Electronic. But silent and shy Lena and excessively talkative Miku as a pair. That's really a surprise. Did you find Shirk? It's strange that Xenia is disturbed by someone's problems. See, don't assume, man. Just because she acts like that on the surface does not mean she's arrogant, and it does not mean that she has no feelings, unlike you. Like, never judge someone on the surface, man. There's probably a lot going on underneath. No? Surely he's in the village buying cigarettes. Or vodka. She snorted. Village? At that moment, the conversation got much more interesting. Got a problem with villages? Xenia looked amazed. You mean there's a village nearby? I think so, she said uncertainly. I looked at Lena and Miku, but they were busy with their meals and didn't pay attention to our conversation. You mean you don't know exactly? Why should I care? Xenia stared at her dish. But there must be something nearby. Listen. Listening? I don't know. Will you let me eat? Seems like I won't get anything from her. Though there is a chance that she really doesn't know. The remaining time was spent listening to Miku talking about some nonsense, and I was just going slowly mad in silence. This guy is such a bad person. Obviously, the first thing I did after getting out after that was inhale a great breath of fresh air. The sun was setting. I decided to take a walk. it's highly unlikely that I'll find anything more exciting to do for the rest of the evening. That way something interesting could arise quite unexpectedly. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud bang. It seemed like something had exploded. I was paralyzed. I'm in a hostile environment, not knowing the rules or laws of this place. It'd be better for me to run. But at the same time, I was curious. Probably I would have just kept standing there, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga. Why are you standing here? Let's go and see what happened. Can't you ever manage without me? I begged her pitifully. It shouldn't be anything serious. He is pitiful. He is such a little child. If she says like, come on, let's go investigate, why wouldn't you want to help Olga? Why wouldn't you want to? Like, she could say, I need you to crawl across this field of glass, and I would have been like, absolutely, I would love to. Thanks for choosing me above anyone else. Like, dang, bro, like, it's ridiculous. What kind of guy are you? Anyway, it shouldn't be anything serious, I hope. When we came to the square, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga vigorously pushed through the crowd and approached the crime scene. Obviously, someone had tried to blow up Genda, but the attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. There was only dim ash traces on the pedestal. Well, who did this? She looked over the crowd of pioneers. Surely it wasn't done by an organized terrorist organization. These guys all came here just to look at what happened. I noticed Olyana and Alyssa in the crowd, and it looks like our camp leader noticed them too. You two, come here. They approached reluctantly. Why always me? If you think so, show me your hands. Last name. What's wrong with them? I looked closer and saw that they were smeared with black. Oh no. I gave her the carbon! Oh no! Okay, well, we will reload a save if I find out that's what it was. Now it's clear. What did you make a bomb with? The junior terrorist seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, but then blurted out proudly. Activated carbon sulfur and okay. It was me. Back up. Where is she? There she is. Back up. Back up. Alright, let's not give her the carbon this time. No carbon. Really? A stomach ache? Really? Doesn't seem so. What, do I have to toss my lunch over the place? Believe me, I don't know what terrible things can be done. She hesitated. If you're right, there, I knew it. I'm not giving you anything. I tried to block her. She's still just a girl. Can't stop me. Whatever, I'll find somewhere else. Okay, she turned away and headed to the exit. At the door, Alyssa stopped and looked back. By the way, the camp leader and the nurse are carrying a pioneer with a broken leg. I really don't care, but they seem to be struggling. Yeah, sure. Come see for yourself. Alyssa seemed to be lying, but on the other hand, as long as I can see her. I came to the door and looked outside. No one was there. Where exactly? They hadn't reached here yet then. She made a helpless gesture. Have fun. I returned to the table and only then realized one of the drawers was open. How did she make it so quick? I turned my back for just a second. Though what evil can come from activated carbon? Okay, so you really can't stop her. Then, you know, what the flip is the point? It was 15 and wasn't back. I guess at least leaving this place like this won't do. Alright. I managed the magazine, the fashion of the 80s, yawning. It was already me. Alright, so I'm thinking when the apple appears this time. Alright, I returned. There was an apple. I think we'll still eat the apple because now I'm even less suspicious about it. Because Alyssa was over there, so I'm thinking it's not related to Alyssa. But I feel better that we didn't give her the carbon. So once again, we'll give it a save because at least with this one now, we didn't give her the carbon. It makes no difference apparently, but we didn't give her the carbon, so we'll still eat the apple. Okay, now we can go back to where we were. Okay, we are back. So again, we didn't give her the carbon this time, and at least intentionally, we tried to stop her, I guess, and she still got it somehow. But we tried to stop her. We did our duty to God and country. We still ate the apple, and now we're back. All right, if you think so, show me your hands, last name, what's wrong with them. I look closer. Now it's clear. What'd you make a bomb with? The junior terrorist seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, but blurted out. Activated carbon, saltpeter, and sulfur. Wait a minute. Carbon. Carbon that she stole from the first aid kit. Why exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? The fighter for the rights of... I could hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Alyssa if Electronic hadn't popped out at that very moment, shouting, I found it! I found it! Everyone turned towards him. He held a boot in his hand. Here. Electronic boastfully shook it over his head. It's Shurik's boot. Okay, calm down. Tell us in detail where you found it. In the forest. On the way to the old camp. Whispers ran among the pioneers. Old camp. The old camp. Are you sure? Absolutely. What's so special about this old camp? I joined in the conversation. It's nothing special, really, she stammered. One of the old camp's legends tell the story of a young camp leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with a pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself. Well, that's dark. She committed harakiri with a kitchen knife. Next day, the boy was hit by a bus. Ulyana ran out of the crowd. Bus? I refrained from asking about the route number, but science doesn't acknowledge the existence of ghosts, so we have nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, somebody should go there. Suddenly, the crowd started to thin out. Olga, it's almost night. Maybe tomorrow? I turned around and saw Slavia and Lena. What if at night something happens to him? No, today, right now. I agree. Like, let's actually be concerned. Like, he's missing a whole freaking day. Let's not just be like, you know, it'll probably sort itself out. Like our main character's strategy of being an idiot. Anyway, no, today, right now. By the way, where is this place? Electronic roughly described to me the directions and told me the story of the old camp. The camp leader looked at me attentively. If you think that you're the only man here. I looked around the area. Of course, Electronic was quick to flee. I still don't want to walk in the woods alone. If you ask me, I would... Oh. Okay. I'm thinking saving over this is fine. I still feel pretty confident about the apple, TBH. No, let's just save in a new slot. We have the slots, it's fine. Oh dear. See, I feel like we're reaching a climax of some kind. They're giving us too many choices. It's so suspicious. What's happening? Okay, I can't go with Olga. So our options are Alyssa, which I would rather die. Ulyana, again, rather die. So it's between Slavia and Lena. I'm thinking Slavia? I mean, we've had more moments with Lena, but I think I just, no offense to Lena, I think I like Slavia more. All right, my gut reaction says Slavia. We did save it, so we'll see. I'll go with him. Very well, it's better together. Are you sure? I mean, well, on top of the fact that Slavia is, I feel like she's braver, and Lena is very shy and kind of on the scared side of things. She's more timid, so maybe on that basis alone, maybe it was a good idea. I asked Slavia in a whisper. I wanted to be sure, but she didn't answer, just smiled. I looked speechlessly at Slavia for some time. Why is she always helping me? Because she's a very good person. Unlike you, Semyon. Anyway, very good. Good luck then, both of you. We'll need it. The camp leader and the other girls said their goodbyes and went their own ways. I was quite surprised that they're treating our night walk through the forest to the abandoned camp as something normal. Well, it can't really be helped. Wait a minute. I'll bring a flashlight. A flashlight, sure. While I was waiting for Slavia, I had a strange thought. Why is she always so kind, sympathetic, and ready to help? Why did she offer to go with me to God knows where? It's always the quiet ones. Should I be concerned about her? What do you be concerned about her? I think she's the one person you shouldn't be concerned about. I just don't get him. I'm back. With a smile, Slavia gave me a flashlight. Shall we go? From what Electronic told us, the old building was built right after the war. It looked like a kindergarten or like a barracks, I expected, and definitely could hold less pioneers than today's camp. It had been abandoned for about 20 years. It was now totally dark. What is happening to the music right now? It's like we're walking into the haunted forest of evil. It seemed like the forest was as afraid of us as we were of it. Trees politely moved away, grouping at the sides of the path and patiently waiting, watching us. An owl hooted somewhere far away and more quietly than usual. I wasn't afraid walking next to Slavia. Probably in any other situation, even in the real world, I'd be too scared to go into a forest without a proper path. Wuss. But I tried to get rid of these thoughts. Although it was strange, Slavia probably soothed my self-preservation instincts and my sense of reality was blunted. If it continues this way, I'll jump towards some beast with a smile on my face. Attaboy, now you're acting like a male. Anyway, you're not afraid, are you? Meaning, Slavia turned around and looked at me, smiling in a strange way, either with misunderstanding or with gentle mockery. Or maybe I was just seeing things. Well, night, the forest, the old camp. Well, it sorta gives me the chills. Just sorta? Are you afraid? No? Well, yes, but it's a natural human reaction in this kind of situation. I don't want to show my fear, but I wasn't really scared. I just felt that being scared is what I should be in a situation like this. I think that's retarded. It was just like my body had stopped producing antibodies to fight against an infection. I was scared, but not by the forest, but the fact that I was reacting to everything that was happening in the wrong way. On the other hand, I didn't want to make a fool of myself. I see. Slavia smiled again and continued walking. She's way braver than you, Bal. Way cooler than you. The path surrounded by trees and bushes was becoming more narrow. The deeper we went into the forest, the less clearly we could see the moon. For a moment, clouds hid the moon and everything was submerged into almost pitch black darkness. And then someone hit me across the face with a bat. No, I closed my eyes tight, and when I opened them, the moon had taken its place again and painted the world in a bright white colors of its night shroud. I only just realized how much I hate the dark. Finally, a clear space appeared far away ahead, and a minute later, we were standing at the edge of a forest glade. Well, okay, now that's pretty sketchy. I mean, I would still do it because we're missing a camper, man. I'd still do it, but, you know, I'm still saying that at least it's more sketchy than the woods. Anyway, there was a ramshackle old camp building eroded by rain, rust, and beetles. It smiled at us with broken windows like a gap-toothed mouth. A silent rebuke from the dead to the living should be read in this smile. A cemetery fog clouded the whole glade, so ghosts, ghouls, zombies, devils, and other evil entities seemed to loom from the haze. This sight was enough to give the average person a heart attack, or at least a panic attack. If Slavia had taken my hand, I surely wouldn't have been able to stand it. It won't be as scary this way, she smiled. I couldn't say anything else, just grasped her hand tightly. What am I even doing here? Looking for Shurk at night in the forest? Here? You're actually being a good person. You moron. That's what you're doing. Against your will, I might add. But you're being a good person for a change. How could I ever agree? There's not a single normal person who would. I feel like that's not true. But the world around me can't really be called normal. I tried to persuade myself that I was finding answers and that it can't really get any worse. To be honest, nothing bad had actually happened to me during the last 4 days in this camp. Besides, I had no special reason to think that something bad would happen. Maybe it's just the way the world looks. People can't live without adventures. Shall we go? Yeah, I guess. But we didn't make a move. Slavia seemed to be waiting for me to take the first step, but I just had enough courage to stand still without running away. What a coward. The moon showed up from behind the clouds again and lit up the old camp building. Now it looked less like a tomb, but all dead pictures in my imagination grew real. Visions of ghosts became more focused, the wailing of the wind and the grass rustling got clearer. Noises of the unknown origin could be heard from afar. Seems like it was a great place before. I looked at Slavia carefully. Maybe she was scared, but she was trying to hide it. Knowing that, I felt a little better and calmer. Maybe. Let's go? Sure. I stepped carefully, watching every step, trying not to touch the old fence, the crooked merry-go-round, or the rusty slide. In some places, the grass was waist-high, so any wrong move could lead to broken legs or hands. At last we came to the entrance, and I pointed my flashlight inside. The darkness that looked back at me was much scarier than the view outside. At least the moon shone brightly there. I gathered up my courage and crossed the threshold. The inside of the camp building looked like a kindergarten from my childhood. The layout of the interior, even the rotten furniture, was similar. Well, I shivered, picking out more and more remains of the joy of the children long gone with a flashlight. Creepy. Slavia was not only holding my hand now, but embracing it, firmly pressing herself against me, and I'm okay with this. However, I didn't sense fear in her voice. I wonder whether it was a good idea to come here in the middle of the night. Perhaps not. Shall we go back then? Don't be such a coward, you idiot. No, what about Shurk? She said in genuine astonishment. Well, Shurk, why did he even come here in the first place? Maybe he isn't even here. Where else could he be? I don't know, eaten by wolves maybe? Don't say that. He is literally the worst person. Slavia frowned and stepped away from me. I was already so used to being with her that I was slightly upset by her reproach. Well, okay, let's assume that there are no wolves, though you can never be sure. Well, since we're here, let's search. He is such a bad person. I hate him so badly. He's just like the antithesis of what you should be doing. You should take control. You should be the first one to search for a missing camper. You should be the brave one. Like, this guy is the worst. We searched all the rooms of the old camp. Playrooms, bedrooms, canteen, kitchens, and toilets. I even looked into the closet, which was choked with empty, decayed cardboard boxes. Look, when we returned to the place we started from, Slavia picked up something from the floor and gave it to me. It was an old doll with torn, frayed threads, missing a hand and an eye faded from damp. So what? I pity it. What, the doll? Yes. Why would you pity it? Someone played with her. Just threw her away and forgot about it. She's been here all alone all these years in the rain and the cold. I couldn't really tell if Slavia was serious or not. I don't think this is the time to think about such things. I feel like you're an idiot, that's what I think. On the other hand, what would be the proper time for that? Slavia looked really upset. Yeah, maybe. I took the doll and examined it. I remembered how once I found a stuffed lion the same way that Slavia just found this doll. I took him home, washed him, and was careful with him as with other toys, even though he was long past his retirement age. You should give it to Uliana. Slavia laughed. Suddenly the wind howled down the passage, singing some kind of eerie tune. A light flashed and I instinctively jumped, caught my leg on something, and tumbled to the floor. You alright? Slavia ran over to me and helped me get up. Yeah, more or less. I tripped on a trap door. It's strange that we hadn't noticed it already. The dirt around the door was cleared. It seemed like it had opened not too long ago. We're not going down there, are we? I asked, trying to preempt Slavia's suggestion. Of course you are, you stupid coward. She only gave me a sad glance. Come on, are we playing at Diggers now? I moaned, while lifting the hatch cover with quite an effort. My common sense was crying out, telling me I shouldn't do this, but contrary, my logic suggested that if this world wanted to kill me, I'd already be dead. But it's only because of Slavia, otherwise there's no way I would go down there. 2 meters of a rusty metal ladder led down to a dirty concrete floor. I leaned over the edge and illuminated a narrow passage going somewhere into the darkness. And what is there? I think I heard about a bomb shelter under the old camp. A bomb shelter? Well, that's pretty logical considering the time it was built. I mean, yeah, if it was from 20 years ago, that'd make it approximately somewhere in the 60s, I guess. So, or, I mean, you know, ish. I guess that makes sense. Why would Shurik need to go there? I don't know. Of course, it wasn't necessarily him who opened the hatch, and it's obvious that someone had opened it just recently, but who would be more likely to get the idea of going down there than a mad inventor? If we discard theories of supernatural involvement, there could be no other humans in this forest. At least that's what I thought. Alright, I'll go first, then if everything is fine, you follow me. What might not be fine? Slavia looked scared, but seemed to ask more out of politeness. Well, I don't know, rats for example? Are you afraid of rats? Guess I shouldn't have asked. I sighed deeply and began to descend. Don't be such a stupid coward, you idiot. We advanced slowly, holding hands. In the pitch darkness, the flashlight was not helping much, only occasionally it would illuminate pieces of old newspapers and scrap metal lying here and there. Suddenly it began to feel as if the walls and the ceiling, covered in endless twisting cords, were pressing in on me, as if the passage was getting narrower. I spread my arms, trying to measure the passage's width. Are we still far off? Asked Slavia sadly. Far from where? I've got no clue. Alright. Just then, a massive metal door appeared before me as if from nowhere. Oh, cried Slavia softly. I took the handle and it seemed to yield a bit. You ready? Not sure. Although speaking frankly, what could you prepare for in such a situation? The wheel turned a few times, squeaking horribly, then finally reached its limit and went quiet. I pulled on the door with all my weight and it reluctantly opened. There was some sort of chamber behind it. It's like super old, which turned out to be the bomb shelter itself. When we entered, the light suddenly went on, making me flinch. Though it was likely that there was an independent power source here, at the time when these catacombs had been dug, people had been building things to last. The bomb shelter looked exactly like I imagined. It had everything needed to sustain prolonged human existence during a war. The lockers contained chemical protection suits, gas masks, dry rations, water cans. At the far wall, I noticed a lot of various tools, pressure meters, radiation meters, a radio, and some others. However, this place looked like nobody had ever used it, which was not actually that surprising. Furthermore, it looked like nobody had ever entered it after it was built. Slavia gave me a questioning look. Well, Shurik is definitely not here. But was he? No idea. But if he was here, he couldn't just vanish. I looked around the room again and noticed another door to the wall on the wall to my left. Maybe there? However, the door wouldn't open. What if he barred it from the other side? Why? I don't know. Still, it was quite possible, assuming he was there at all. By the look of things, Shurik was hiding, maybe running from someone. Such thoughts made me uneasy, and I felt like putting myself on the other side of the door as fast as I could. I pushed hard, but the door only gave a dull creak. Here, maybe this could work? Slavia handed me a crowbar. I fumbled with it, considering how I could better tackle the door. Let's give it a try. Oh, look, there it is. Using all my strength, I managed to pull the door off its hinges and it crashed onto the floor. While I was recovering from my efforts, Slavia pointed the flashlight down the newly opened passage. There's a corridor here, just the same as the previous one. Jeez, this place is a real maze. It's 2 corridors. It's not really a maze. Like, I feel like you have to have at least 2 turns to be a maze. Anyway, shall we go? Hold on. Hang on. He's like, hold on. I sat down on a bunk, took the dusty pillowcase off the pillow, and wiped my forehead. Let me catch my breath. What a sissy. Slavia sat down next to me and began to study the details on the floor tile patterns. Better turn off the flashlight for now. Oh, yeah. She blushed slightly and clicked the switch off. It's just plain creepy. I caught myself thinking that I had not been treating these events as real for the last half an hour. As if they had not been happening to me, as if they were just a dream. Just like back then, 4 days ago, in the first minutes after I found myself here. Yes, lately I might have started getting used to the world, this reality, as it had become reality for me, and that feeling deep in my soul that I had to find an exit was not so acute anymore. Good! You're finally growing a brain. But now again, in the blink of an eye, the forest, the old camp, the bomb shelter, there was absolutely nothing supernatural about any of it. But neither was it anything normal, like anything from my previous life. Or like something from my previous life. Yes, agreed Slavia. Don't you find any of this strange? What exactly? Well, the fact that we're sitting here, just you and me in the night. Wouldn't it be normal to in such a situation to instead wait till morning and call the police? No, you retard! Yeah, I guess so, she replied thoughtfully. Of course, I almost volunteered. I shouldn't have. Well, almost isn't quite right, but still. But you just wanted to help. If Shirk is here, we should find him as soon as possible. At this rate, we'll be the only ones they're looking for. You know, he did manage to get lost here. Slavia looked frustrated. All right. I didn't mean anything like that. Maybe he's not here. Maybe he actually went back to the camp a long time ago. Yeah, maybe. But we should still check, right? Of course. Slavia got up and held out her hand to me. It seemed she wasn't as afraid as me, though I was already tired of being scared myself and now only wanted all of this to end as soon as possible. Oh, this guy is such a filthy coward, dude. I hate him so badly. This corridor was identical to the other one, which we came through to get to the bomb shelter. I was walking at a slow pace, carefully watching the floor and checking from time to time whether the passage was getting narrower. Look. Interesting. Slavia held my hand tighter and pointed at a breach in the middle of the tunnel. It was wide enough for a man to climb through or to fall down. Maybe I pointed the light down, and there seemed to be nothing but ground at the bottom. I think we should check this out. The hole was shallow enough for us to climb out afterwards, so at first sight there would be nothing to be afraid of. It's getting deeper. I climbed down carefully and helped Slavia. We found ourselves in some kind of mine. The walls and the ceiling were reinforced by wooden beams, and the rails stretched out into the distance. Here and there, the path pressing down against this fragile design broke through the boards, which was rotting with age. It made the whole structure look a bit unreliable. Where do you think we are? I don't know, some kind of mine. What could they have mined here? Coal, perhaps? Perhaps. We started to advance slowly. Stones would treacherously shift under our feet now and then. The beam coming from the flashlight trembled and jumped from one wall to the other, often casting shapeless shadows which disappeared as soon as the light was pointed at them. It's scarier here than above. Guess so. The further we went, the stronger my confidence became that Shirk had absolutely nothing to do with this place. He couldn't have been taken by a chupacabra, could he? Alright, we can't rule out that possibility either. Dude, you're in Russia. I'm pretty sure the chupacabra is in Mexico, but I'm just saying. At last we came to a fork in the tunnel. Where do we go now? I don't know. I tried to inject at least some semblance of calm into my voice, but I really had no clue. None at all. None where to go, not where Shirk was, not even why we were here. What if we got lost? Yeah, right. Let's leave, I'm maybe singing. Yeah, right. Let's leave a mark so that we've already been here. I picked up a rather large stone and carefully carved a cross on one of the large logs supporting the ceiling. There, now we know where we have already passed this spot. Good. Slavia smiled. So, which way? Oh, bother. Don't worry, this is how we abuse the save system. Save! Alright, let's go left. It seemed that there was another fork in the road. Oh, for the love. Alright, let's just hug the left wall. We came to some kind of miner's camp. Picks and helmets everywhere. A rusty wagon stood in the corner. All the items were so old they dated from the beginning of the 20th century rather than the middle. So this really is a mine, which means I could wander around here for ages without finding a way out. But I sensed that exit was somewhere nearby, and so we went further. It seems that there's another fork in the road. Hug the left wall. It seems there's another fork in the road. Continue going left. There's another fork in the road. You think eventually it'll... Alright, maybe we should go right. Go right this time. Another fork in the road. Another fork in the road. Let's go left that time. Oh my god! What's happening? Alright, hang on. Give me a second. Okay, we are back. So first, let's go to the first fork in the road. Because I'm a filthy, filthy cheater. We're gonna go right. Right. Left. Right. Right. Suck it. I just Googled. I was like, mine answer. And look what I found. After another turn, the flashlight lit up a wooden door. Well, at least that's something. To tell the truth, I was so tired of wandering around the mine that I completely stopped thinking about Shirk. I only wanted to find an exit as soon as possible. Yet there's a big surprise. He completely doesn't care about anyone else. What's behind it? We're just about to find out. And there's the hanging body of Shurik. No. Past the door, there was a small chamber, which looked either like the utility room of a boiler house or like the one of the bomb shelter's rooms. The floor was littered with empty bottles, and the walls were painted with a mess of graffiti, which meant that other people had more than once visited this place before us. Although, from the look of things, they had done so rather long ago. I was running the flashlight beam around the room, trying to check out every part of it, when suddenly... Good lord. I found Shurik curled up in a corner. Shurik, cried Slavia. However, it looked as if he was not paying attention to us. What on earth? Here you are. We're looking for you all night. Why in the world did you come here? Shurik looked up at me with hazy, unseeing eyes. And who are you? What do you mean, who are you? Get up already. Let's go. I'm not going anywhere with you. Shurik turned away and stared into the darkness again. You want to trick me again? You'll make me go to circles or through the tunnels, won't you? Yeah, you will. I know you for who you are. What you are. I missed it. Shurik's voice turned into an infernal whisper. Cut this nonsense out already. I wanted to approach him and pull him upright, but Slavia stopped me. He's not quite himself. Well, I'm not quite myself either. You want to hear it all night, you sure won't be quite yourself. She shook her head reproachfully and slowly went up to Shurik while carefully staying in the light. Alright, it's me, Slavia. It's alright, it's me, Slavia. For real? Shurik looked at her and immediately started sobbing quietly. Of course, who else could it be? And that's Semyon with me. We came to find you. Everything's alright now. Are you really not them? Careful, certainly not. We're us. He tried to get up, but he was apparently disoriented and would have fallen if not for Slavia, who caught him by the arm. Easy there, careful. When they came up to me, I said, alright, it's time to get out of here. We can't go back. Back where? Into the mine? Yeah. Shurik was speaking calmly, but at the same time, his voice was trembling slightly. It's a typo. It was confusing me. Why is that? It's where they are. Who are they? The voices. What voices? I was starting to lose my patience. Yeah, no kidding. This place and the situation certainly wasn't normal, but if there had been anything paranormal here, then by the laws of horror cinema, it should have long since showed its face by now. That is the dumbest logic I ever heard. Calm down, Shurik. Just tell us everything in detail. He took a few deep breaths and started. I needed some spare parts for the robot, and I heard that there was a bomb shelter in the old camp. And there's usually a lot of different equipment in bomb shelters. It's old, of course, but worth disassembling. You can always find coils, resistors. So I went early in the morning. I thought I could finish quickly and be back by breakfast. I got everything I needed. He took some light bulbs and wires out of his pocket and showed them to us. But then, up there in the bomb shelter, I found some sounds. I heard some sounds from behind the door. Something like moans or wailing. At first I got scared, but then I thought that a person could be in danger, so I went there. And here was this mine, this damn maze. I got completely lost, and the voices always telling me something, sometimes shouting, sometimes whispering, and I could never make out the words. He was ready to burst into tears, but Slavia patted him gently on the hand, and Shurik continued. Anyway, I found this room. At least here you can't hear them. So you decided to sit and wait for the rescue, like in a B film? I asked sarcastically. Oh, shut up, Semyon. Slavia shot an angry glance at me. Good. Well, in any case, time to get out, if there are no objections. Come, I know a shortcut. A shortcut? Yeah, you know, I walked all over this place. All right. Semyon is such a moron. I hate this guy. Shurik didn't lie. Indeed, after wandering for just about 2 minutes in the mine, we found ourselves under a grate, through which we could see the sky. Why don't you get out yourself? Try it, you'll see. I pulled myself up and pulled on the grate a few times. It's true, you can't break it just like that. Gotta use something heavy. I looked down at Slavia and Shurik. Try the flashlight, maybe? Not the flashlight. I fumbled with it. It was not one of those cheap Chinese fakes from the 90s, which I used to have a lot of in our summer cottage. No, it was a real Soviet durable metal flashlight. Not a hammer, of course, but if I tried hard enough. I swung it and started smashing at the grate, aiming for the spots where it was attached to the wall. Soon I got lucky. I heard cracking sounds and a few bolts fell down. Luckily, it's incredibly rusted. A minute later, I was lying on the grass under the monument and breathing in the fresh night air with delight. Although after the mine, any air would seem fresh. Well then, I'll be going. Thank you. Shurik looked a bit lost. I had him questioning me for a bit, but ended up saying nothing and just waved my hand for a goodbye. After all, I had neither the strength nor the will to talk with him. And what would I say to him? Scolding him how it is no use, and the same probably goes for him for trying to learn anything. What a night. Slavia was sitting next to me and looking dreamily at the moon. Right so, if someone told me just a week ago that I'd be in a pioneer camp and would even have to crawl through bomb shelters. But it was fun, in a way. There was indeed something amusing about all of this, but there was also something strange. During the last few hours, absolutely anything could have happened to me, but in the end, nothing at all had happened, because it's in your head and you're an idiot. In a couple of years, I'd probably remember this just as a funny incident from my childhood, if I lived that long. What do you think? Did he really hear something down there? I don't know. It's possible, of course, but most likely it was just his imagination. In such a situation, anyone could start imagining things. That was not only the most logical explanation, but also the most probable one, because nothing had happened to me and Slavia. Well, I for one think we should go see a psychiatrist. Guess he should, laughed Slavia. All right, time to go to bed. I felt like I needed to say something to Slavia. I was not sure that I wanted to, but I could feel the need. Thank you. For what? She gave me a surprised look. I wouldn't have managed without you. He most certainly wouldn't have. It was nothing. Slavia blushed. I was in her debt. Again. I wonder how I could repay her, at least partially, for all that she had done for me. How about you stop being a little less of a dirtbag? That'd be a great start. I stared at the night sky, slowly falling asleep. All of today's adventures left me so tired that I had no more strength left. You know, under different circumstances, I would have surely confessed my love to you, I said, losing touch with reality. Thoughts usually work much faster than common sense, but Slavia wasn't there anymore. It's probably for the best, at least she didn't hear. Although it's strange, why'd she leave without even saying goodbye? Well, whatever, I'll sleep on it and see her in the morning, or see in the morning. I was so tired that I barely made it to the camp leader's cabin, but there was a light on the window. That means she's waiting for me. And that in turn, that means that I'm in for a lecture again. And this time, it'll just be as pointless as ever. I'd absolutely no desire to discuss whether I was right or wrong. Well, considering the heavy metal music that's coming in, I'm willing to bet something bad's about to happen. Alright, we're gonna give it a save. The deck chair standing nearby was beckoning to me like a light friend, as if suggesting I should sleep in it, forgetting about the mine, Shurek, the camp leader. Thank the Lord she stopped you from being an idiot. Here you are, I said blankly, still looking at my deck chair. Semyon. Yeah, we found Shurek. Slavia will give you the details tomorrow, and now I'd really like to sleep. She looked at me confusedly for a moment, then replied, Oh, well, fine. He's such a bad person. I don't know if mentioning Slavia played its role, but half a minute later, I was already in my bed. The events of the day kept turning over for a short while in my head, but soon it started to ache, and it was as if my consciousness switched to safe mode and started to reboot. I just hate this guy. He's just the worst. He's just so irritating. He's mean. He's completely heartless. He's like, whatever. If you're not the perfect ideal person for him, he's completely cruel to you. He has like no compassion for anyone. That dude was lost in the freaking mines underneath a bomb shelter, underneath a camp, and he's doesn't even care. Couldn't be bothered. And then he's mean to the person when he actually finds him. He's absolutely the worst person. He's short with people. He's just the worst. I hate this guy. We ran with the last of our strength, like those who ran for their precious lives. Like a doomed person, knowing that there is no hope to save his life, we still fight the inevitable and his own fate. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is, or if it'll be able to withstand a nuclear blast, but we have no other place to hide. Obviously, this is like the same. If you guys recall, this is how the game opened with the whole but it was a girl that time. So who knows what this is about? She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst, but death is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. But suddenly, complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized there's nothing I could do. Yeah, A horrible bang almost split my eardrums. It seems as if I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. What you're looking at is your future. Whoa. I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. It was almost like you were a good person. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. At least the dream Semyon's a good person, at least a little bit. The clocks were showing a few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind, and my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Olga wasn't here. She must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventures, I had to have a rest. Last night, we remained a blurry memory, which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Though I would agree that with this principle, even if I wasn't a pioneer, as a matter of fact, I'm not. On my way to the washstands, I met Electronic. He started to wave his hands and ran up to me. Good morning. Thanks for finding Shurik. Without him, I don't even... It's nothing. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be so shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he all right? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yeah, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed in the morning. I mean he remembers nothing about those two events. I see. All right then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club. We'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspiratorial way. Thanks. I'll come probably. I had to wash myself first anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody near the washstands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that I wouldn't be ready to wash the rest of my body here. Or wouldn't be easy. Maybe I should go to the showers. But since there is nobody here, I turned the tap in such a way that the water streamed parallel to the ground and started to take off my clothes. That is such a bold strategy. And what if somebody sees me? Well, I'll rinse and dry myself quickly, put on my clothes. I can't believe this was your battle plan. The water, which seemed warm on my hands and face, felt bone-chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds and started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. This guy is such an idiot. Why was this your plan? A moment later, Alyssa and Olyana appeared near the washstands. You could have done it by yourself. Why'd you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. So, fun fact, I bet you money this would be a black screen had I not installed the adult patch, so, you know, you're welcome. Alyssa opened the valve and started to rub Olyana's back. Whoa! Am I gonna have to edit this out? What if somebody sees us? What, is there anything to see? She grinned. Okay, just be quick. Alright, so we're back temporarily. I am gonna have to cut that out. It was weird too because it's kind of edited in its own way, but it's just close enough that it makes me that I'm thinking I might have to edit it out, and you know, I'm not sure. So the point is, our dude fell out of the bushes because he's a retard. So now they are both mostly nude, and our dude is also nude in the bushes. So it's great, it's awesome. It's why on earth? Why on God's green earth is the game like forcing us to always have issues with Olyana and freaking Alyssa? Everybody here, and these are the two that the game is like, hey, look, but these two though, but Slavia exists, but the nurse exists, Lena exists, even the mean librarian exists, and of course Olga exists, and here we are messing around with Alyssa and Olyana. Why? Alyssa and Yana stood frozen, staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. The something lasted for a few seconds, then Alyssa took her shirt and somehow put it on in an instant. Yep. Her face went from red to purple. It looked like she would explode in a nuclear blast any second. The only thing I wanted was to disintegrate into atoms and to get as far from this epicenter as possible. Well, you should have gone and showered like a normal person. He was sitting there the whole time. Oh, she did know. So she noticed me then. So that was the thing, is I think I'll have to edit it out. Not sure if you'll catch it, but Olyana in the middle of the whole stripping thing looked right at the bushes, and the dude was like, I don't think she can see me. And obviously she did know about it, so there you go. You and I accidentally, what if you know what I mean, Alyssa rushed at me. There you go, I can show that, I guess. Covered my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran in the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at the time, as showing up naked in the middle of the camp, accompanied by two screaming girls, wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back. I can't wait for him to run into someone else. And I stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself, but at the cost of lacerated, scratched, and bleeding feet, as I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump and sighed. Well, you brought this on yourself, like everything else. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. my feet were hurting, so I should go straight to the infirmary. Oh, please, let's go talk to the nurse. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't gonna wait either. Maybe I should accept Electronic's invitation? Or head to the canteen in hope of finding something left to eat there? Oh, options. Okay, well, we can save over the last one because we didn't actually have any choices in that one. Okay, time-wise, we are pretty much there. I should probably stop. But to the infirmary! I always took good care of my health. I want to see the nurse, and even better care at the times when something starts to hurt badly. So without hesitation, I made my way to the infirmary. But right in front of the door, I stopped as if some mysterious force was holding me. I had absolutely no desire to face the camp nurse without any urgent need, but on the other hand, I almost did a great deed yesterday defending the infirmary, so in some sense she owed me. I took heart and opened the door. I don't know why he's so scared of her. She's like hot in 9 kind of ways, like freaking accept it. Hi, Pioneer. Hello. I'm sorry that I was so late yesterday. Wasn't a problem at all. Why have you come? You sick? She smiled slyly. Well, I got my feet a bit. You got a bit what? My feet. I gave a stupid answer. Okay, show me. I sat on the couch and took off my boots. How'd you manage that? I better keep silent about what happened near the washstands. Well, okay, never mind. Wait a second. She rummaged in a drawer and took out a big red pill with a cross-shaped notch from a vial. And what is that for? I was disturbed by the size of the pill and its strange shape. They are broken in halves usually and not in quarters. This is to make the amputation of your legs unnecessary. What? Oh my God, I told you going to the infirmary was a good idea. Nothing. Don't be afraid, Pioneer. You'll take it and it'll be all right. And this pill, why does it look like that? That's for patients who refuse to take medicines. I don't even know what that word is or how to pronounce it. We screw it into them with a screwdriver then. That sounds awful. I don't care to ask for where they were being screwed in, actually. That's a great point. And now try to bear it a bit. She took a big pack of cotton wool, wrapped a bud with it, and applied plenty of iodine to it. I braced myself for the torments of hell. I moaned quietly. But my trust in this method of disinfection was quite higher than in the pill, so I had to withstand the burning. Now it's done. I put on my boots and tried to walk. My feet were still hurting, but the sharp pain was gone. Thank you. Don't mention it. Drop in any time, Pioneer. The way she always talks is always like she's a foxy. She is a foxy lady. Anyway, I said goodbye and left the infirmary. My health problem was solved. It's the right time to eat now. That's right. The day was just started, and I've gone through so many things already, but I did it and now have legitimate grounds to fill myself up. Today, I wasn't the last one, so I could choose a free table. Lunch included pea soup and mashed potatoes with fish. It was a major disappointment to me, so I didn't eat fish in any form, and hence will get fewer calories than usual. Soon, Slavia and Lena came to my table. Can we? Yes, please. She smiled nicely. Huh? Yeah, sure. I stood up and pulled a chair for her. Please. I was in an excellent mood at the moment. Enjoy your meal. Saying that, Lena began staring at me and continued for some time, but then after realizing how odd she looked, switched to her plate. You too. You have any plans for today, Semyon? Nope. I gave her an honest answer, as indeed I had no plans. Except for searching for answers, but that was more like a global goal. Oh, please. Do you want to take a boat ride out to the island with us? I would freaking love to. The island? Well, I think I've seen it from the pier. For what? Olga asked us to gather some strawberries. There are lots of strawberries there, and they're delicious. I could imagine the taste without even eating it just by looking at Slavia's face. Strawberries. And what are those for? I don't know, but it's indeed a great idea. Well, indeed it is. Moreover, I hadn't been to the island yet. Yeah, sure. I would love to. Within minutes, we were already standing at the pier. Well, here's the boat. Hang on, I'll go and fetch the paddles now. I was left face to face with Lena. Do you like strawberries? Well, not really, but they're tasty. Lena smiled. I see. I didn't know what to say next, how to continue the conversation. If Slavia didn't come back, we would probably still sit here till the evening without saying a word. Here you go. She handed me a pair of hefty paddles. Yeah, thanks. Aha, this is my kind of boat trip. We got to the boat, I untied it, pushed off the shore, and started paddling. And where exactly are we headed to? Right there. She pointed her finger at the island. That island is named the closest one. I wonder what captain gave it such an original name. Well, the island is indeed close to the shore. Aye, aye, Captain. If only I'd known what was waiting for me ahead. I wasn't an experienced oarsman. I'd rowed a boat just once or twice in my entire life. It was less than half a mile to the island, but we were making our way in zigzags thanks to my skills. By approximately the middle of the trip, my arms hurt so badly that I dropped the paddles to get some rest. Well, aren't there any strawberries anywhere else? I mean, in more accessible places? But the tastiest ones grow there. Slavia gave me a puzzled look. Is it hard for you to row alone? Lena, unlike Slavia, understood everything straight away. Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, I couldn't let a fragile girl help me. Yeah, you should man up! Anyway, the rest of the way I spent concentrating on staying alive while getting to the island. Slavia and Lena discussed something, but I wasn't listening. That was too much for me. At last, we arrived. Completely exhausted, I got out on the shore and looked at the boathouse. It seemed so far away that I felt like the first person on the moon watching the Earth rise. Here you go. Slavia handed me a basket. It was a small island, barely 100 meters long, and it looked more like a birch grove with even rows of trees covering its entire surface. A calm green sea spread beneath our feet with wind causing slowly waves on its surface from time to time. This island looked like a lost paradise. It's no wonder that the most delicious strawberries grow just here. We've got to split up, that way we'll do the job faster. Yeah, sure. But there are only 2 baskets, said Lena humbly. Oh, you're right, my bad. So, how are we gonna split up then? Oh, no, Gabe, don't do it to me, man. How dare you make me choose between Lena and Slavia? I think I probably like Slavia more. We already talked about this. I feel like Lena and I have had better moments, but I feel like I like Slavia more. Oh, no! Man, the game's like, so these 2 were your favorites? They'd be like, well then. I don't know, actually, it might be Slavia and Olga might be my favorites, with Lena probably taking 3rd. Sorry, well, again, we saved it, so all is good in the hood. I didn't want to walk here alone and hope that Slavia would join me, but I couldn't bring myself to ask. Well, it's obvious. 1 basket for me, 1 for you 2. No, let me go with you. Slavia smiled. Okay. I was a bit surprised, but I was also glad that it turned out like this. Lena seemed to take no offense at all. Oh, thank God. I was like, I don't want to make you mad, man. I don't want to make you mad. The reaping had commenced. The strawberries were delicious here indeed. I could probably eat them all if I didn't stop myself in time. Despite being wild grown, the berries were close to the garden ones in size and had a rich red color, so it was clear that our visit here wasn't in vain. Slavia was walking right beside me as we only had 1 basket. I felt like a mushroom picker, looking under every shrub and searching through the grass carefully. Pay attention. The entire bunch of strawberries had been left behind. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's fine. You must enjoy being here, don't you? You like nature after all. Of course I do. Slavia smiled. It reminds me of my home. We have similar beautiful birches there. She smiled dreamily somewhere into the distance. Look, I've always wanted to ask, what do you like in general? You look busy 24/7, and it seems like you have no time to rest at all. She started to think. I don't know, really. Doing a variety of activities is enjoyable for me. Well, it's understandable, but still. I like knitting and sewing, things like that. Slavia took a handkerchief out of her pocket. They are red, yellow, and green flowers embroidered on it. They were entangled with each other in a complicated way, creating sophisticated geometric forms. Such a typical Russian handmade handkerchief. Glimpsing it, I instantly imagined Slavia dressed in an ancient seraphan, sitting on a bench beside a ramshackle house with a crowd of playing children running around. It's quite cute. Thanks. Let me give it to you as a gift. Such a proposal embarrassed me. You shouldn't. No, take it. I looked at the handkerchief once again and put it into my pocket. Thank you. Oh, we're having a moment. There were so many strawberries here that after a mere half hour, we had the basket filled up to the brim. It seems we're done. Yes, we've got a lot, so it should surely be enough. While we got back to the boat, Lena wasn't here yet. When we got back, she needed more time to fill the basket by herself. Yeah, I guess so. I looked at the river. The sun sparkles happily dancing across the water surface were the only thing that distinguished it from a mirror. That's how calm the river seemed. What are you thinking about? Nothing really. And you? Me? What will happen once vacation is over? We'll have to leave this camp and go back to our homes. Will I ever see anyone I meet here again? Will I ever see you again? She looked at me with her eyes so full of sorrow that I couldn't think of what to say. Lena came out of nowhere, breaking the silence. Oh, you're done already. Here. She showed us a basket full of strawberries. Great. Now we can go back. And I still had Slavia's face and those words of hers on my mind. Sadness and sorrow weren't the kind of emotions typical of her. That's true. Could she be hiding them all the time under a mask of cheerfulness? That is often the case. You'd be surprised. I had no answer to this question, and I knew I couldn't find one either way. Maybe later. Yeah. I see. It is a concern, man. I don't want to leave Slavia behind. I think she's my favorite. The way back took less time as I tried to concentrate on rowing and ignoring everything else. My only wish was to get back alive, as the first trip hadn't gone without consequences, and now my hands started to hurt after only a few sweeps of the oars. Having tied up the boat, I fell to the ground with no energy left. Slavia and Lena leaned over me. You could have said something if it was so hard for you. Yeah. Never mind, it's fine. I'll just lie here for a bit, everything will be alright. Okay, then get those baskets to Olga, please. We have something else to do. Yeah, sure. I was ready to agree with anything at the moment, so I wouldn't have to get up. Slavia put the baskets full of strawberries next to me and headed to the square, happily chatting with Lena about something. The hardest part is done anyway. That's what I thought before I got up and took the baskets. After the rowing, they felt like cement bags, even while weighing barely more than a few kilograms each. So the trip to the camp leader's cabin took much longer than usual. I had to stop every 50 meters to have a rest. Once I finally made it, I put the baskets on the ground and sat on the deck chair with difficulty. Olga, I've got presents for you. There was no answer. I barely managed to get up and enter the cabin. There was nobody there. If you don't need them, it's up to you. I lay down on the deck chair and fell asleep. Well, there you go. I had a weird dream about a strawberry race. I was rowing a boat with my last ounces of strength trying to escape huge berries that were chasing me. My hands were failing me and I could barely see anything because of the sweat covering my face. Blood was hammering in my temples and the strawberries were getting closer. There's a mental image. They were baring their teeth at me. But wait, strawberries with teeth. Semyon! Ah, Olga, my love! I'm happy to see you. I woke up. Olga was standing beside me, shaking my shoulder. I see you got a rich harvest, didn't you? Pause. Should we go a new one or that one? I feel like I'm pretty confident with my Slavia choice, so we can go over that one. I feel like sharing the thanks to the girls' help. Okay, but that's not all. Seriously, I was just anticipating the lovely rest I was about to have. Do you even know what those strawberries are for? No, not a clue. What an honest confession. We'll make a cake out of them. I see. Well, that makes sense. To honor the miraculous rescue of Shurik, and that it's all thanks to you. It was clear that getting the strawberries wasn't the last thing left to do. And why, please tell me, if I'm such a hero, why do I have to organize a celebration in my name all by myself? Well, I guess. So, I have an important task for you. We are missing yeast, flour, and sugar, and we need it all in the canteen before dinner. Those who will make the cake can't deal with it on their own somehow? I asked pitifully. He is, once again, being pitiful. Of course they can't. All of them are busy. And you're the only one in the camp who does nothing. While her words were all partly true, they are true. That doesn't make it any easier for me now. Moreover, those words felt like a bullet in my head. So, write it down. You'll get yeast in the infirmary, flour in the library, and sugar in the clubhouse. Wait up. I have no time. I'm in a hurry. Good luck. She smiled slyly and left. Of course, there are a lot of strange things in this camp, but yeast in the infirmary, okay, I can deal with that, but flour in the library and sugar, no, it's way beyond my comprehension. I spat on the floor. I don't want to, and I will not believe this. Just tell me you're pulling my leg. I would not be surprised if a crowd of fat green trolls would appear here right now beside me, with every one of them feeling obligated to laugh at me. So, maybe to hell with the cake? I weighed my options for some time. No, if such a major plan of Olga's fell through, I would be in for a world of hurt, and it would complicate both my life in the camp and my search for answers, which I've stopped for quite a while. Because there are no answers to be found, you idiot. It seems I have no choice. Man, he is like, the dude is ridiculously stupid. I feel pretty confident about that choice too, so we can give it a save. Beautiful. I think that'll be a great place to call it. We made great progress today. There was some weird Juju Magumbo with Shurik in the old bomb shelter. That was interesting. We learned our character is a worthless, stupid coward, and I don't like him a lot. But we're dealing with it. We're kind of forcing him to be a good person, despite his natural instincts on being worthless. And, so that's progress. And we are continuing to more or less push our way along. I feel like the game is making us make choices, and the choices make me sad because I'm worried I'll miss out on other things. So we will, of course, have to see. More or less, if the game makes us choose somebody, I will go probably for Slavia as a backup for Olga, if that's at all possible. And then at third place would be Lena, and then after that, it probably doesn't matter. But, yeah, that's pretty much what we're aiming for. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I will be recording Saints Row 3 right after this. So if you're interested in that, you're more than welcome to check it out. And I think uploads for tomorrow should be normal, I believe. And I think that's everything. Anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.